Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Our next guest always comes with the best gardening advice. Here to share what you need to know now, we welcome back gardening coach Tiffany Garner. Great to see you.
Always great to be back.
You always have great stuff to kind of get us through the winter months too,
Yeah.
because you got to be prepared for everything.
That's right. That's right. And it's the slow time of year in the
Yeah.
garden season. You've probably tucked your garden away for the year. So what are you going to do?
Yes.
Well, it's winter reading time. It's time to
Okay.
order up those seed catalogs, people.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, there's tons and tons of different seed catalogs, Baker Creek, Johnny's, just loads of seed catalogs. And so they're really, really fun to get and to flip through, and it gives you a great idea of what you want to plan for next year, what you might want to put in your garden for next year. And speaking of that, it's a great time to think about how your garden did this year.
Right.
And, you know, go through your list of like what worked and what didn't work, and how you want to change that next year.
Right, and kind of being realistic about your property,
Yeah.
things you maybe can and cannot do successfully with what you're working with.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And did you find that you had way too many tomatoes this year or way too many zucchini this year?
Yeah.
Zucchini. You might want to cut back your planting next year and just do
Sure.
one plant or two plants. So like I've started making my little garden plan.
Look at that.
For next year. I've got my rows laid out, and then the spots where like maybe I want to put some new stuff down here, and then I have like my list here of things that I would like to put in the garden. So it's kind of fun to start your wish list, and then move it onto paper and make it a reality.
It seems like it makes more sense as like puzzle pieces where you can see where everything fits.
Right.
And I would imagine if you make this investment on pen and paper right now,
Yes.
you're going to be much better off later on.
Absolutely, especially when you're flipping through these seed catalogs and you just start ticking things off and you're like, yep.
That looks fun. That looks
fun.
nice.
And then you're like, wait a minute, I only have so much space and so much sun.
Okay.
So it helps reel you in a little bit.
Are there things that you found in your own space that you either loved or are thinking of kind of revamping next season?
Absolutely. We tried a new trick with our tomatoes this year. In the cages, we tried winding them around the cages instead of just going straight up. Well, it turned out that didn't work so well.
Oh, no.
And they just didn't have the vigor we were hoping for. But it was a fun experiment. And, you know, the grocery store's right around the corner. So even though we didn't get as many tomatoes as we wanted, we can go get some more.
I like that.
Yeah, so next year, we're just going to go back to regular tomato pruning and not the fancy stuff.
Focus on what you can control. And once you've kind of put the garden to bed for the season, are there other things to do in terms of if we do have some extreme weather events coming our way?
Absolutely. If you still have leaves in your yard, it's great to rake them on over to your garden beds and just protect them from any heavy rains and snows that we have, because that can really compact the soil. And by leaving the leaves just on top of your bed sitting there, it just really protects it.
Okay.
And then keep your eye out for any winter events. Like last year, we had some really bad snow and ice storms. So if you can, make sure, like as that snow is falling, if it's safe for you to go out into your yard and shake it off your shrubbery.
Oh, that makes sense.
And kind of keep the weight off your plants. But that's only if it's safe.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're able to get out a couple of times and do that, I bet it would make a big difference.
Absolutely. I have some arborvitaes in my yard, and I just take a broom and I knock the snow off as they start to bend.
That's a good
and
idea.
it really, really helps.
Because so many of us have those types of shrubs around and you just don't think about giving them the TLC too.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. What about when you are perusing through all these catalogs in terms of if you're not sure if it'll work in your garden or not? Do you just kind of give it a go and see what happens?
You know, absolutely. I say give it a go.
Try.
Yeah, gardening, why not?
Yeah.
It's fun, and you know, seed packets are often just a couple bucks.
That's true.
But then there's also a lot of these seed catalogs have really good descriptions on there.
Sure.
And it'll really tell you, like, actually really needs a lot of sun or won't work in super moist
a good idea.
situations. So that's really helpful.
Sometimes you can feel lost or overwhelmed when there's so many options, but having kind of that detailed information.
Absolutely, especially with some of these books that are very, very thick and have so many options in them.
That is so fun. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Great
you're
to
welcome.
see you.
Great to be
We
back.
are ready for the winter. We'll have more information about Tiffany on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.